The controversial sponsorship proposal between South African tourism and English football club Tottenham Hotspur has officially been canned after public backlash over the 900 million rand price tag that would have come with the arrangement that ran or would have run over 3 years. The new Minister for Tourism, Patricia De Lille, says that the SA Tourism Board has agreed not to proceed with the deal. She says the use of public funds must be carefully considered given the current economic climate. We're able to speak now with the Minister for Tourism, Patricia De Lille, who's joining us on News at Prime. A very good evening to you, Minister. I'm grateful for your time. So you were very clear in your opposition to this proposal. Did you find common ground with the board, or did you have to strong-arm them on this one?
Mikele, I'm very happy that the board have accepted my advice not to proceed with the deal. The deal will no longer proceed as planned. I just hope that in future, before we commit to such significant amount of money, that the consultation take place very early, that we also open up and test the market to get the best deal for the country. We have to be very careful with public funds in this current economic crisis that we are in. In fact, all government departments, we need to carefully consider before we enter into such significant deals. So we must make sure that any deals that we enter into is cost effective, that is to the benefit of the people of South Africa. So I'm happy that we've now closed this chapter and we can work together going forward to sell South Africa as a tourist destination. We've got such a beautiful country, and it's up to us, because the world owes us nothing, to go out there and sell our country and convince tourists to come to our country. We have to do more around our safety for tourism. And so going forward, together with the private sector and our communities, there's a great potential to create more jobs for our people using tourism. And
I'm curious about how much convincing it took to reach this conclusion or this agreement with the board, because you may recall, Minister, that when there was the initial public outcry about this, the board called a media briefing where we were basically chastised as the public and the media, and one of the comments I recall being made was that even if this money was going to be spent on this deal, it's not money that would have come from a water or an electricity budget, and therefore everyone was basically making a mountain out of a molehill. Or is the board in its entirety now convinced of what you're saying, or are there still some among them who feel that it should have gone ahead?
Well, I think the first response was total arrogance, that every cent of public money that we spend comes from the taxpayers, and therefore we are accountable to the taxpayers. The Department of Tourism spent at least 56% of our budget goes towards South African tourism, and therefore they have to be held accountable. I have given them advice after I received a legal opinion that advised me that the deal is invalid and unconstitutional. And based on that legal advice that I received, I advised them in the same way. I asked them to answer me by the 29th, which was yesterday, and they've responded. And I'm very happy that they have accepted that we don't proceed with this transaction.
Is this a board that you trust will make more sensible decisions about such sponsorship deals going forward? And is it a board that you will be able to work with constructively, as you say you wish to do?
Yes, I certainly wish to work with the board, but they must also, that when they want to enter in such significant deals, that they consult right up front, that we then all work together, and that we consider everything together, including considering the priorities in our country. And if we can do that, and we find that balance, and make sure that we get value for money, but to just decide in a board meeting on the 31st of January to proceed with this, and then wanting to consult with the Minister and Treasury afterwards is just not on. We have to respect the role. I have to respect the role of the board, their fiduciary duties. They also have to respect my role in terms of the Constitution. Because Parliament already on the 21st of February, before the Portfolio Committee on Tourism, they also expressed their dissatisfaction with this proposed deal. So it was not just from the ministry, it was in the public domain for weeks, and I'm finally happy that we can put it to rest, and this transaction is off the table completely.
And are there any proposals at this stage on the table, as per what SA Tourism is telling you, that would be able to produce the same or similar return on investment, but at a lower price tag?
Well, first of all, we need to get our priorities right. Our priority now as the tourism department is to promote domestic travel, is to promote continental travel. The biggest growth in tourism has come from the continent. And that goes without saying that that is the target market that we need to go for, to encourage South Africans to explore their own country. So domestic tourism, continental tourism is the number one priority. And that's where we need to focus. If there are any proposals of marketing South Africa, I've now discovered that we've got a number of organizations that are doing destination marketing. We've got Brand SA, South African Tourism. We've got our own embassies doing it. They all have offices around the world at great cost. But and then there's also the Tourism Business Council. So they all do destination marketing, but it's not coordinated so that we could have a consistent message that we can send out there. And that's really the focus, where the focus is going to be there now. No consideration of one specific hand-selected football team that will wave the magic wand that's going to bring all of the tourists to our country. No, we have to get back to our priorities.
Minister Patricia De Lille, Minister for Tourism, speaking to us tonight on News at Prime. Thank you for your time.